Hey, book babes. Welcome back to Two Girls, One TBR, your chaotic book besties here to wreck your reading list, one morally gray man at a time.
I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Heather. I'm the only one who has officially read this book. So today I'm going to be kind of the resident expert while Rebecca and Chelsea get the tea for the first time. So it's going to kind of be me and Ravenna hyping you guys up today. I can't wait for you guys to read this one. This one definitely like top tier of the year for me. I give it infinity stars because I give a lot of books 5. I definitely say like this is more. It wowed me. And it's her debut. So that's really impressive.
I'm super excited. But as we were saying earlier here, it does come out this Saturday, April 4th. So we are here to get you guys fully prepped for this next obsession. So now, before we get into bringing Ravenna on, we just want to do a quick little note about our poison and potion because we made a special drinks specifically for her book. So go to our sip section on our Instagram page and you will see the recipe for the 2 different drinks. It'll be a alcoholic one and a mocktail.
Mm-hmm.
They're called the Fallen Star and the Starlight Awakening. We aren't drinking them live, but they are stunning. Head over to 2 Girls, 1 TBR on Instagram for the handcrafted recipe cards so you can have your ingredients ready for Saturday.
Yay!
I'm super excited. I think they all sound so pretty. And also
They do.
remember, edible food grade glitter on any
I'm
of
telling
your
you,
drinks.
we need to reach out to Velvet Hammer. They're a
Yes.
new company. If you haven't seen those on Instagram yet, they have like a fire heart color, and then you put in the swirlies and stuff. And I don't know if they're electrolyte drinks or if they're just like a
Just the
kind
glitter.
of glitter that changes your drink color. They have like purple, like a reddish orange, and a blue maybe. They're pretty.
I think all that edible glitter thing is the neatest thing because it makes really truly any drink. It doesn't have to be alcoholic
Yeah,
or whatever.
it can be water.
And it makes it look like a potion. like
Yeah.
in our books that we have. I keep seeing my light on my face.
But yes,
Like I keep having a green light and it keeps hitting me in the
sometimes.
But hey, now I got to ask you girls, what are you drinking over there since we're talking drinks?
I brought champagne for Ravenna
I love it.
Nice.
to celebrate.
Espresso
and
martini.
Ooh, I love those. So good.
Now I'm drinking my favorite, my Jamaica Me Happy, and I do have the Infinity Gauntlet.
Well, should we
Nice.
wait to bring her
Open
on
it.
before? I should have waited.
I don't know.
She'll
Yeah,
have
I can
hers.
wait.
Oh, okay, we'll wait to.
What does she
to,
got?
open
She's
it.
already. I'll pop the cork here in a little bit. I'll wait for her.
Open it. We'll open it. We'll be like, yeah, when
Yeah.
she comes on. But what are you two? What are you two reading right now? What's your current read?
Go ahead, Chels. I'll
Okay.
get mine up.
I just finished The Heart You Kept by T.L. Swan, and it was so good. I've loved all of her series. She is like so naughty. There's always like a little suspense thing that goes on. It's a billionaire romance, and so it's always fun. Like it's like a normal girl, I say, but they're always extraordinary women, of course, and then a billionaire guy, and it's just but she ended on a cliffhanger, and it's driving me crazy. But today, I pulled from my physical TBR, and I'm going to start reading The Ever King by L.J. Andrews.
Yay! Yay! I'm so excited for this.
That
You'll
one's
love
a
it.
very
Yeah.
that is a very pretty copy right
It's
there.
gorgeous. I bought this resale because I missed it.
Oh, it's
So I
gorgeous.
spent
love
more than
the
I'd like to
foiling.
admit.
I love the foiling on a book. Again, as we have stated, all of us, I think we all can agree, we are book snobs and we're cover snobs. And if it's a beautiful cover, we love it.
Pretty.
That is nice.
I
Oh,
got
and
it signed by her at Romantasy Con. I'm so happy.
Yay!
Chelsea
I love her.
has. You have to see Chelsea's pictures she sent me of all the books and stuff and all the things that she got at Romantasy-Con.
My goodness, I bet. I've
Yeah.
seen
I wish
people's
I was there.
hauls. I mean, there's suitcases full of books that people come home with.
Yeah, I took a cart with me and I
was just
filled
gonna
that
ask
and
that.
then some.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
smart, though, to take a cart
Mhm.
thing with you. Because
Yeah.
that would get heavy with all the books.
Yeah,
is-
some totes and stuff get too
Yeah.
heavy, don't have enough room.
Well,
But yeah, I've
looks like-
seen people get swag bags full of stuff. They get, all the special editions. Or some authors do just certain covers and like
Yeah.
special editions at their
Signing events.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Was
And
it,
so you want
I
those
got
too.
one from Melissa Rorit.
I was
That's
going to
what I was
say,
just
yeah,
gonna
she has
say.
one.
I love her. I was watching her the video I think it was yesterday, and she went and got a new tattoo. That was her therapy.
Yeah.
and it was really neat looking. I think it goes
It's
with
gnarly
the new
looking,
book.
like good gnarly looking, like
Mm-hmm.
really cool.
Yeah.
And
She has a
no,
good
I
artist.
have one. Oh yeah, the guy that she goes to, he does beautiful work. The one that he did for her was absolutely gorgeous, and it ties in. I believe the image that she had done ties in with her new series.
The Tortured Souls.
That's, but I could be wrong. But that's, to me, that's what it looked like. But I
Heather,
like
what were
it.
you reading? Did you say?
I'm on an arc,
Oh, okay.
The Rise of Hadwas. So it's
Oh.
another epic fantasy, and it's very Egyptian, Sumerian. Is that right? Am I saying that right? Kind of like Memnon. So we have
Okay.
like he's not quite like Memnon in here, but right now I'm still in the beginning, like 30% or so, and it's interesting. Like I feel like things are happening because they're supposed to, and then I'm just kind of waiting. I'm starting to get like into the controversial parts. So I'm excited to see where it goes. But I got this one from Iris Influencer Society. That's how I found this author, Amanda Ratio. I think she's in Canada.
Okay.
Interesting.
So
That sounds like an interesting book. Is it
Yeah.
spicy
uh,
or
not yet.
slow burn?
I don't know.
You have to ask.
I know you do.
To be
Me,
advised.
I'm just blind, and I just go in going, oh, that's a good one.
You'll have to let us know. Keep us updated
yeah.
on the
What
spice
do
level,
you?
because if it's spicy, I will
I
continue.
will. I'll let you know, Rebecca. I'll let you know if it's for Rebecca.
No, I am still on Taken by Touch and Torment by Maggie Sinceri. This is the second book. It's the duet. The first one is Stalked by Seduction and Shadows. Again, I'm still at the beginning of the book, and
That looks
it's
thick.
really good.
Is that thick?
It's thick, but it's not like Crescent City thick.
Okay.
But it's not thin either. But it's really good. And you're following, it's a vampire story, and he's stalking in it and that kind of stuff. In the book one, an event happens at the end of book one that's caused all these other events to happen, and now you're at the beginning of what happened. And it's like, whoo, that kind of thing, to see where it's going to go. I really like it. I like how she writes. So if you haven't read anything by Maggie Sinceri, check her out. She's very good. I like it. Neither of you have read anything by her, have you?
No.
She's new. I've learned her from you.
Oh, okay. And then she has another duet too. I have it up on the top shelf. I can't see what it is, but there's a second vampire duet. But like I said, she's a very easy read too. So check her out. Maggie Sinceri. All right. So now what we're going to do now, ladies, we're going to take a pause, and we're going to bring Ravenna on.
All right.
Yeah. So I'll be right back. Ravenna, welcome. We've been hearing Heather scream about this book all week. How are the pre-launch jitters treating you? Because when this episode comes out, will be only 48 hours until your book actually comes out into the world.
Yeah.
It's pretty scary, I'll be honest. There's a lot of things to do to prepare, and for some reason, everything seems to be going wrong right now.
That's good.
I keep getting these emails from Amazon like your margins are off and you have to change your PDF, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, but it'll be
sounds
okay.
right. All the other indie authors that I know that go through the process, it's a learning process. No matter how much you think you have learned from other people, like you have to do it to like learn it. And they all come back saying like, Amazon, F them. Like, they're making everything so hard. Yeah,
Absolutely.
they're a culprit.
I think it was last year when Carrie Lake's book came out, Eldridge. It was like another week before I could actually get a copy of it because Amazon did the same kind of things to her.
Yeah.
So it seems to be a thing they do to you guys. Oh, you poor indie authors for some reason. I'm going to open my drink, and Heather, are you going to do yours? Now I have the Infinity Gauntlet, so I'm going to open mine.
Nice.
Shake it. I was not expecting that.
The champagne.
It's not
Same
allowed
champagne
on
as a
right
paid
now.
actor.
Tastes delicious. Happy birthday. Happy debut coming out.
Yay!
This is going to be exciting. Okay,
I got my
and
little
Chelsea,
drink
I have
too.
my pretty glass.
I love those glasses. Cheers,
I know,
everyone.
those are pretty.
Cheers!
Can we please
Oh my
get
God, that
like
was funny.
its own reel
Yes.
with that happening? Because that is the
it
most
needs to be
amazing
a
thing
GIF,
I've ever
I
seen.
think.
Yes. Oh, that would be so fun. I'm down.
That is hilarious. And if it would happen to someone, it would happen to Heather.
It would, you guys. You know
Which
me
kind
so
of
well.
answers my next question I was going to ask. If the four of us here were characters in Elendria, am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Elendria? Okay. Who is the one accidentally triggering an ancient curse? I think that would be Heather. And then who
Yeah.
would be the one
I did
saving
it.
us? Probably Rebecca with all the work that she puts into
Yeah,
this
I think so.
podcast.
She's got the charisma. She would definitely talk us out of any trouble there is.
I would definitely try.
Yeah, you got the organization skills. You got this.
I'll tell you, behind the scenes and stuff, even though we're like recording and that, there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of different things to get us all, organized and all that. And I try, girls. I'm trying to make us fancy. Remember, we want to have what? Rolling
Rolling
ladders.
ladders.
That's our goal. So one day, that's always the goal.
Yeah.
Now I heard that the world building in your book, because again, I haven't read it yet. Chelsea hasn't read it yet. Is brutal, post-apocalyptic kind of deal in it. But according to Heather, the writing is absolutely gorgeous and very
Yes.
classical, almost like the feel kind of
Yes.
a Lord of the Rings kind of
Yes.
feel. How do you make a war zone sound so aesthetic?
I think it's just the way that I write. I think war, even disaster, even terrible things that happen have kind of a romantic flair to them. I think that comes from me reading really classical, the old classics like Beowulf and, those old Odysseys where, even battles and big, terrible things that were happening were romanticized in this really smooth lyrical language.
Yes. It's amazing. I remember first starting it and I was like, just it hits different than when you first start a book that lately. And it just kind of I felt like that like Rebecca talks about like a cinematic scene. Like I did. I felt like it just kind of like opened up. You do a great job at like painting the world with poem. And it's easy to imagine and put together, like with your artwork too. And then you just have this like whole scene. And it was very cinematic when I started reading it. I was like, this is like I feel like I'm reading Lord of the Rings. Like, this is really cool.
Thank you so much.
I mean, I do find it absolutely amazing that you do all your own artwork and everything. Besides
Yes.
writing that beautiful story, you have the time to create, and then we actually get to see what you see when you're creating the characters. We're actually seeing the actual characters in true light through your eyes.
Yeah.
Which is
That's
so
my
unique
favorite.
because
Thank you.
I don't think that I have seen many authors, and I feel like anybody in this field is a creative in a way. And so it's so neat to see you use that, like, I don't know, you take it to the next step. It's like, I'm not just writing it, but I'm also drawing it. Like, it's just so awesome.
I really didn't think I would be able to. I was always in this mindset of, well, I can only draw like certain things, I can't draw backgrounds, I can't draw chairs or furniture or anything like that. But I think when I started really marketing the book and marketing it with the art, I stopped telling myself I can't and I just started trying, even though I failed a lot.
Yeah. Knowing how to do digital art now, it is hard to get. It takes practice, like layering things and remembering to do layers so that you don't fuck up something else that you're working on, especially details. If you accidentally do details on like the main like color, you're like, oh, damn it.
I do that all the time.
Me too. Me too. It's rough learning and remembering steps and stuff. And then you go back to like regular drawing or other like I go back to like Canva and then I do Procreate or something. I'm trying to do things on Canva that you can't do because I'm like thinking Procreate instead. It's a different platform. It's different to learn it. So
I love
doing a
Procreate
great job.
myself. What do
Lo-
you use, Ravenna?
I do Paint Clip Studio or Clip Studio Paint. I can never get it right. I always say it backwards one way or another. But
Nice.
so lately I have splurged and I got a Photoshop subscription
Hey.
because I had to, because in Clip Studio Paint, you really can't put the finishing touches on like a cover, if you need to
Okay.
do text or anything like that.
Uh,
So I splurged and I ended up getting a Photoshop subscription.
Yeah.
That's
Which is
awesome.
new even with Procreate. Like, they didn't have text in the beginning, and they've just finally added
Yes.
that because I've had it since it like first started. And so we're just like slowly getting those updates. So Photoshop has it all going on. It's just so hard to make that
Transition.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Expensive.
Like I started on Procreate,
Yeah.
I'm learning it. Like, don't add more right
Yeah.
I can't. But yeah, Photoshop looks really cool. I've seen that. A lot of people use that one. Uh, but I have not heard of Clip Studio Art. I'll have to look that one up
Yeah.
too.
It's
All
mostly
of them
for
seem to have different tools.
They
So
do.
yeah.
Yeah.
it's
But
mostly
I
for
could see that like
comics.
with a cover. I was watching somebody else make a cover recently on IG and she was doing her time lapse and stuff. And she had to go, she could draw different parts, but she had to put it all onto like another software so that it would
Okay.
print in like the longer, bigger picture because
Yeah.
Procreate doesn't do that. So.
Give you
Ravenna, you're
guys all
saying it's
credit.
more for comics. So like graphic book adaptation kind of things would probably be best on that app. That's cool.
Yeah, they actually have like a page manager where you can make your book, like your comic book, page by page. So
That's
I
cool.
discovered it when I was doing comic for some Otome stuff I was super into a few years ago. And then I just really like the simplicity of it. Procreate looks really, really awesome, but it also looks super complicated. I already have enough brushes like hoarded
Yeah.
in my Clip Studio, so I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine making the transition.
You see, I am not an artist in that respect. I cannot draw or anything like that, but I was a photographer in my past life before I had kids and that, and so I used Photoshop in that aspect. And then I've only started getting into Canva here in the last few months, since we've
And you're doing
updated
great with it.
I'm trying, but I had to learn. I mean, Canva is very similar in a lot of ways to layering and that kind of thing that you learn in
Yeah.
Photoshop. But it was just trying to learn. But I think it's so far everything's turning out pretty good. I always
She made this
again,
pretty little thing, Ravenna,
It's
that goes
gorgeous.
around.
Yeah.
It's
Isn't it pretty?
gorgeous.
Yeah.
but
Love it.
when this is out, you'll see all the pretty flowers and everything that we have. Because I like flowers. I like sparkly things. I like stars, as you can see from
Okay.
behind
Speaking
me.
of that, so that reminds me of Ravenna's FMC. Auryn?
Auryn,
How are we? Auryn. Okay.
Auryn, okay.
And
Writing that down.
I love that character, you guys. I think I on the Discord was like, oh my gosh, like she reminds me a little bit of Luna Lovegood because she was in this one chapter, kind of going around. She's new to the world in the state that it is, right? So she doesn't have very many memories of what it was, and she is described by Resh, who's the god of war, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. And so she goes around, she's kind of like flitty, and she's just like over here, like doing something, and then she's collecting things and she puts them away in like her little treasure chest. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's me, like me and my little trinkets when I travel, like I want all these like little things and I keep them and they remind me of stuff. And
Yeah.
so that's just like one of the examples of Auryn I love. She is feisty and she has like a disability rep. If Ravenna can tell us a little bit more about that.
okay, so I do spotlight disability representation, but because this is a secondary world, I don't label what the disabilities are. It's really important to me that when readers see Auryn and they read about her on the page, they see themselves in her without labels because labels are not who we are as people. So some people will see, man, I feel just like Auryn because I have migraines, or some people will look at her and think, she's so neurodivergent coded, right? Because we want to see ourselves in these big stories. And that's why I don't label anything. I just let readers see themselves as they want to be seen. But the important message is she's not weak. Just because her body is fragile does not mean that she is not strong enough to change the world.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I love that.
And so like with that, like I get migraines. I know Rebecca gets migraines. I have bad ADHD now that I'm a parent. So in that sense of like when you read Auryn, she is doing to the best of her abilities beyond and helping others, and she gets into these predicaments where she burns out. And I know that feeling as a mom where you just like you need a day off. You're
Yeah.
like, don't want to, I'm like, my body physically does not want to get out of the bed right now. And that's Auryn to me. Like she just constantly like goes, and then she's like out. Like I can't do this anymore. Is that right? Yeah.
I
And I
love
think,
what you said. Sorry, you go ahead, Ravenna.
sorry, I think a lot of us have been there where if we have a disability or something similar, on the days when we feel really, really good, we hustle, we
Mhm.
double time because we know that at any point the disability can hit and then you're out for a day, 2 days, and you have to catch up again. So that's kind of how we're in.
Yeah. I felt that. And then as I was reading this book, my back went out. Like I was doing the boys' hair, cutting it, and I just kind of leaned over weird and a muscle pulled and I was out. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm Auryn right now. I'm just like laying in the bed for a whole 24, 48 hours because I physically cannot move. Like I can't work. I can't do anything. My muscle in my back is out. It needs rest. So
Wait,
that was funny.
she did that to her back and then was telling me about it. And then what it was several days later, and then I did
Yeah.
it to my own
Then
back.
you also, yeah. I have bad juju. I'm the curse maker.
Chelsea, you have to watch, or you're going to end up being one of us that's
Careful.
pulling a muscle in
Yeah.
your back.
Yeah,
Well, I was
Yes.
dealing with my little bug that I had, so I don't need any
true.
backaches right now. But I like what you said, Heather, about how you like saw yourself in her, because even just you saying that, I am such a little like treasure rat,
Quarter.
like I
Yeah.
just like, and I'm always like, oh, I'm going to put this in a safe place. And I have like 1,000 safe places and then I forget where I put things.
Yes.
Or like I buy stickers all the time. Like I have so many bookish stickers, but I cannot commit to putting them on anything. So they're all
No.
just like
Yep.
sitting
Yes.
and I will never use them. And so it makes me wonder, Ravenna, like, are you like that? Or where did that like inspiration come from for the character?
Well, I myself I do have a major disability. Actually, it manifests itself in many different ways, but one of the things is that I am neurodivergent and I am a little hoarder of tiny things. Like when we go to the beach, I will find rocks that
Yeah.
apparently mean something to me and I will just like put them in my little bag,
Yes.
my little satchel, just like Auryn.
Yes. Yeah.
I
My
love
husband's
it.
like, why do you have a pile of rocks? I'm like, I'm going to use these. Okay.
I'm like,
I'm
come
going
on,
to
these have
use these.
sentimental value, right?
Yes. They look pretty. Like that's all it needs to be.
It's interesting, like as we're growing up, we're labeled one way, or we know something is different about us. You know what I mean? I always say normal is this because no one is normal. But
Right.
I've noticed in the recent years and stuff, I'm not diagnosed of anything, but I do believe like I have ADHD because of things I do. And I know I have like neurodivergent kind of things. Like I only like certain forks. I only like certain spoons. I have weird things with food. Like I only eat certain things. I have my safe foods. And I always thought it was just me. I was a picky eater. It was just me. But the more and more like I see different things, I realize that is me. At least I have now more of an answer of why I do the things that I do.
Yeah.
And I spiral. Like I start like with doing one thing and then I end up in another place and another place and another place. And then I still haven't completed the first thing that I'm working on. Oh, and I'm 45 and I'm just
Late
realizing
onset.
this. Yeah. I mean, I'm just realizing there was never an answer. I just thought it was just how I was. But it's
Yeah.
interesting. And I love that you're putting that in a book so that we all can be seen. That
Yes.
piece of ourselves.
And
We
it's
can
so
see ourselves in
different
it.
than your normal, like, I'm this frail, skinny little FMC here to break the day with my pinky.
Yes, but somehow
So
I
it's
can
refreshing.
lift a 20-pound greatsword and kill dragons.
Yeah.
Yes.
That always gets me when we're reading different things and that, and they'll be like they're starving to death, and then all of a sudden they're doing these things that
Yeah.
don't seem
A month
possible.
of training and they've got muscle and they could go and like kick this dark wizard's butt who's been alive for 500 years. And I love it, of course.
Well, I
Like,
mean, yeah.
but at the same time, it's refreshing to have new ideas.
Yes.
And we were just talking about that the other day about like new ideas in books get me going. Like, don't talk about vampires, talk about vampires with something going on. Like, how are they different? than your normal Fangs, Buffy kind of situation. So I like it.
And it's even neat, like you were saying, we had spoke with Stephanie Storm on the prior episode, and she was saying like she named like she has vampires in her book and she has assassins in her book, but
Mhm.
she refers to them. She doesn't call them vampires. I can't remember what she said.
Rogues or something like
Well, that was
that,
the
or
assassin. She calls them rogues, and then she had people write her, and they were upset that she
that
wasn't using the common terminology.
she
I'm
wasn't
like,
calling them vampire.
she wasn't calling them vampires, yeah, or assassins, and people
And
were
I was
upset.
like, that's not refreshing. I like when there's different names for things.
Ravenna, I
makes-
hope that energy never finds you.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice to get fan mail, I guess.
Right? Oh
It's
my
like that
goodness.
Johnny Depp thing, you know, you're the worst pirate I've ever seen, but you have heard of me.
Yes.
Huh? Love it. That's right. All news is good news.
Oh, I love Johnny Depp. He's on one of my short lists of men that I like. I like Johnny Depp and I like Jason Momoa. Those are
Yeah.
my two. And also, what's the guy that was on Supernatural?
Dean?
Jace, yeah, whatever. Jensen Eccles or something like that.
Eccles, yeah.
I have loved him.
And he's still Momoa still.
I mean, if you love Momoa, that's who Resh is visually based off of, so.
Yes, for sure.
Have you watched, I believe it was on Jimmy Fallon. I believe it was one of the late night shows where Jason Momoa came on and he was like in this silk shirt, silk pants, and he was talking to him about the traditional undergarments that Hawaiian men wear. And he took his clothes off and showed his very, very firm butt.
Really? I didn't see
Yes.
this.
How did I miss this?
How did I miss that? That should have been on my feed. What
I
the
will
heck?
have to find it
Can
for
we
you.
pause real quick and then like go watch
Yeah, let's look back.
Yeah,
Hold on.
let me cool down a bit. I need a cold shower after that.
I am telling you, he is so delicious. I love a man because I am not a waif. I am not a little stick figure. I want a man that's going to, because my husband's a big guy, so he can move me. I want a man that can pick me up and move me. I don't want a man that can't lift me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think Jason Momoa would have no problem.
Yeah.
That's
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yes, I will definitely.
I would
find
totally
the clip.
embarrass myself in front of these men if I ever met them, and I'd be like, "Can I please touch you? Get my fantasies out."
Just
Heather, you would be the lady at like Disney. Did you ever see the thing about the lady at Disneyland that like grabbed Gaston and then he was like
they
not
got in
having it?
trouble.
He's
Yeah,
like,
and
get
he
out.
was like, "Excuse me," or something like that. Yeah, his little foam muzzles and stuff.
Well, now Jason Eccles. Now I have been in love with him since he was on Dark Angel. That was a show that was like the early 2000. It had Jessica Alba, and it was a dystopian world, and she was basically a lab created ultimate soldier kind of thing, and they escaped the lab, and he was one of the other people, and he was that was such
That was baby skin Jensen too. Yeah.
I mean, it does not matter. Anytime I see a clip or I see a reel or anything with him, I sit there and I watch it. I don't care if I've seen it 100 times. I will watch it again.
Yeah. He makes funny
he's
facial expressions too, but
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
But those are my top guys. Who are you guys' top guys? Again, Johnny Depp, Jason Momoa.
Yeah. I mean,
Jason Eccles.
after this, so Resh in The Breath of Starlight is Jason Momoa. So you talk about him walking out with a silk shirt on. I was like, that's Resh. Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm trying to picture him like with his like warrior bod, with all his like rune tattoos, with like an open. Yeah, I could totally see that. And he's got like this jade earring that has more meaning to it. I know there's more meaning to it, Ravenna.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming. So good. You guys know I like books with layers and like those little like hints and clues and stuff. And doing a reread. Look at Resh.
Okay. I need to get this edition.
Yes.
God.
Is this available on your website?
Yep.
Do you have a website? Okay.
She's got like
the special
20 left?
edition.
Yeah.
Did she just got those in?
Do you still have some available?
Yeah, there's about 20-ish copies left.
Yeah, how many pieces of art are in it? In the story part? I'm trying to think. They're not overlays. They're like actual
Yeah, they're
art
full
pieces.
page. Yeah, they're
Yeah. Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
And then
I
show us
love-
the cover.
so this is the cover.
It's beautiful.
It comes with a dust jacket, and then when you take off the dust jacket, this is underneath.
Wow.
See,
Ugh,
that's a trophy right there.
yeah.
So,
Wow.
Rebecca, I know you play video games.
Yes.
And so show us the cover there, Ravenna, again with the mana. So see how they have like their little light above their head?
Like a halo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like only certain characters in the book can see mana is what it's called. And they can feel and like see the light, right? And like it pulses or it shows like their emotion that way. If they're using powers and stuff like that, like very
So it's
few
kind of like
characters
reading
can see
somebody's
this.
aura in a
Yes.
way.
Sort of.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've done
love
beautiful
it.
work.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't
feel
wait
like-
for the whole world to see all your stuff because
Did
that
you
is
ever-
beautiful.
Did you ever play Guild Wars?
I have played Guild Wars.
Does this remind you of Guild Wars?
It does.
Look at that's like Xena. Love big badass warrior women. Love it. She's a favorite
awesome.
character. I love side characters. She's top tier.
I love that. That is gorgeous. Again, this is the part that makes your book so special in comparison to so many others, is because you are the author. This is what was in your mind, and then
Yeah.
you went through it, you painted it, you created it, and we're actually seeing the true image of what you pictured in your mind, and I love it. I'm just moving my picture around because I have to move it around because I have you all on my screen, and so I have reviews.
What are you doing?
Also
Yeah.
buying my edition right now before they
Yeah,
run
Chelsea's
out.
ordering, so
Thank you.
You're going to have 19 copies left now?
I restocked, we sold out the first time.
she did.
That's awesome. Congratulations. This is
Supposedly,
amazing.
Did you guys know special editions are harder to sell than paperbacks? To me, I go straight for the special edition. If I'm paying for a book, I want the pretties.
You know
But
what,
that's me.
though? I've learned that because we're in this like bookish space, we feel like they are so popular. But when you get to like just readers who aren't on like the Bookstagram or like book talk community, they don't know about all this stuff because I didn't know about any of this stuff before.
Sure.
So I think a lot of times, like, I don't know, people don't know to be looking for the special editions.
Yeah. And when you miss out on them, you're so bummed.
Yes.
If you find the book later on and read it. So
And I'm
you'll
not letting it
probably
happen
have
right
to
now.
Yeah. Ravenna might have to do like a second special edition of sorts.
Well,
For
there will be
her
one
other
for book 2
people.
when it comes out. And then
Yeah.
because I'm planning on 9 books altogether, so it'll be a trilogy of trilogies, and each trilogy will have its own box set. So
Awesome.
That's neat.
that's the
I like
plan.
that.
And before we go to the next thing, because we were talking about Auryn and having like the disability rep being seen, you've kind of hinted that like maybe she's not so like strong and powerful right away. Would you describe her as being like more like feminine, like soft feminine, or how would you describe her for us that have not read it yet?
I would definitely describe her as soft feminine, because one of the main themes that I'm exploring is the divine feminine. And that doesn't just mean damsel in distress. What that means is being feminine is not weakness. We are goddesses and we have different sides to us. And the series explores the different sides to the divine feminine, which is like the different sides that we've seen in myth. For example, the hag, the maiden, the crone, things like that. And the relationships reflect that as well.
I love that so much. That's like, to me, that's like true feminism, is saying like I can be soft and still be powerful in that role that I'm taking on. So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
And she describes it really well in the story too. With Auryn, she has this saying throughout the book. She says, I am myself. Because people are like, who are you? What are you? Like, what is your power? She's like, I am myself. And that's enough. And
Hell
I
yeah.
love that. I freaking
Yeah.
love that. Because, yeah, like, just be your freaking self, girl. Love it.
See, this is making me look forward even more to read.
Yeah.
I'm getting quite
Mhm.
excited for this.
Yeah.
You need to.
So now this part here. Now we have talked tropes and things like that. Now you and I have been talking The one trope that you would like to send to the grave is the instantly overpowered female main character. I agree with you in many ways. What do you girls think?
Yeah. Like a lot of the teens that come in and they're malnourished. I mean, that was I feel like we're all starting to get away from that, wanting those kind of FMCs. So it's slowly going to the grave, but it's nice to also see even the nourished ones coming to power so soon. Isn't all that needs to be. Like we can have characters like Auryn who are themselves and little dainty women that have power in different ways and showing that. It's amazing.
Yeah, I have to tell you now, because I'm not malnourished, but I can tell you if I was sent into these worlds, I probably would not make it. I think of all these characters and the things and the obstacles that a lot of them have. I'd be, how like you'll watch a scary movie and there's like at the beginning and somebody dies at the beginning of the movie. That would probably be me.
Yeah. Me and Chelsea would go run into the forest and collect trinkets and then eventually
Yes.
like end up in some magical trap where we're like
Yeah.
stuck there for like hundreds of years.
Yeah, or I'd be like that annoying side character that's like always trying to get at the male main character, but he doesn't want me. That'd
Right.
be me.
With the jokes and the like banter and just the nice quips. I love those
Yeah.
side characters.
Now you mentioned that there are side characters in this book too, correct? Yes.
Yes.
Since I haven't read.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
We have
in
Well,
book
I'm
one,
here for it.
and
Go
book
for
one, the
it.
cast is fairly intimate. It's fairly small, but don't worry, the cast is getting big fast. So
Now, you are working on book 2, or have you? I can't remember what you told me. Did you finish book 2?
it is finished. Yes, this is it. So as you can see, juicy and thick. So
I love a thick book. I've told you all this before. I love a thick book. And when do you anticipate book 2 to be coming out?
So I'll be releasing the title April 15th, and the first arcs will probably be in May, and then hopefully July will be the release.
That's fast. Fast.
That is
Wait,
fast. That's
It's fast, and I know it seems crazy that I wrote so much so quickly, but the truth is that book 1 and 2 were never meant to be separate. I had to split them in order to make them more marketable and more readable, because who's going to invest in book 1 that's like 900 pages, when they don't know the author?
Yeah.
Rebecca, she's like me. I will.
Like a SJM kind of situation here. We're getting, like 5 books for one story. That's okay.
well, I always love a thick
Your
book.
art.
We
So
like thick
never
mommy.
worry. There are people out there that are like me. So don't ever worry about ever putting out a giant thick book because
I mean,
Yeah.
I
well, that's
grew
one
up
of my
with
great
I grew up carrying those thick library fantasy books in my backpack, and they weighed more than my school books. So
Yeah.
I'm used to the, like the big, thick
Yeah.
volumes.
Like Harry
Yes.
Potter, man.
Dragonlance,
Like that was
you know?
huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I was
of
gonna say
those.
Twilight. I mean, Twilight was pretty big and
That's
thick.
right. Yeah, especially towards the end, they got
Yeah.
really big. Yeah.
Now, by chance, did you guys see? I saw this girl. She was on Instagram because she's over, I think, in Great Britain, somewhere over there. And she was showing the original cover art that went with Twilight over there. It was the
Yeah.
weirdest looking cover art I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And like the character, she was Bella on the front, and it was strange.
And the way she described the picture was really funny too. She's like, look at this anorexic,
Yes.
hollowed out, like vampirism kind of thing. I don't know. It was really funny. Though I think that was an author who had those versions, the UK versions.
May have been. I just remember her.
Yeah.
She had a British accent. I remember that when I was watching it, and I was like, "Those look that." Because I always remember the ones that that everybody remembers. The covers. I remember them all being at Walden Bookstore up where I was from, up in Pennsylvania, and on that back wall behind the register because they were the top sellers at that time. And I remember them. I have never read Twilight, but I have watched the movies.
Well, the movies are terrible compared to the books.
Yeah,
So.
they're so terrible.
It's like saying you've never read Harry Potter, but you've read the movies, man. The first 2 are good, but the other ones, go read the book. Tell my husband all the time, go read it.
Okay, Ravenna,
Please.
I'm order number 86. When will I be getting my book?
Be starting shipping at the end of May.
Yay!
So you guys will be getting lots of goodies with that too.
Awesome.
Little bookmarks and art prints.
I have a blank wall right here for all
So
my art.
beautiful. And it still blows my mind. This is your art with your book. So it's even more valuable. Like that's
I-
just
Yeah.
amazing.
That's how I feel when the authors do their own art. It just means more.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
people can try and fan art and things like that, but it won't be the same.
Yeah.
And I have to say, you drew the most beautiful men and women, but the men too. Like, when you think warrior, like, that is warrior print worthy Resh is. And I hear in book 2, we have another male character coming who also has a nice little 9-pack.
We do.
Okay. Okay. All right. So now when we were getting this ready, obviously we only have Rebecca and I only have the blurb to go off of. Heather's read it. But can you talk about the devotional spice or the devotional intimacy? And then how do we pronounce Kaelorian? Kylorian. Love it. Okay. Can you tell us about him? Or if it's not him that's getting the spice, what is in your book? What are we in for?
So there have been quite a few readers that have read the book that generally hate open door intimacy, like straight up will avoid it. I convinced them to give it a try because I really wanted to see what they would have to say. I do not use any explicit language. There's very few mentions of mechanics.
Okay.
Everything is very much based in emotion, connection, safety, healing, especially consent. Rush is consent king. I think Heather will agree with me. So,
He's so good.
you know, I've had readers, these same readers that hate the open door scenes that have said this should not be called spice. You should find a different word for it because I cried reading this.
Love it.
And
Yeah.
I've made some husband enemies for sure.
Yes. And their kind of connection, and I know I've told this before on the podcast, is because we were talking about tropes. So we could kind of tie that into is this book does not have your typical he falls first and he unalives. Like, they are both equally soul connected from the very first time that they see each other. And they are experiencing the world together at the state of the world it is right now. And he's like, I know I can't have you. And she's kind of like, I'm new to this world, but I see you. I see your soul. Like, I know you. I know you somehow, like some kind of ancient pull right from the beginning. And when things finally do kind of come together, you have that soul back and forth between the two of them. So it doesn't feel like your typical vanilla kind of spice where you get that yearning and you're like, yeah, they're getting together or anything like that. It's like this, oh, yeah. And oh, that was so good.
It's
Okay, so the
probably
names that you guys have given, are you saying Resh?
so
Okay.
he is the Reshagar. The Reshagar is his formal title, and he generally goes by Resh to his second in command. And as he begins to kind of shed the mask of the Reshagar because he feels safe with Auryn, the narrative changes and begins to refer to him as Kylorian. And what you're saying, Heather, the feelings that you were feeling in that moment with the bond, it's probably because I invented a POV specifically for that chapter.
Yeah.
A POV in this book is out the window. All the rules are out the window.
Yeah. But you know who it is. Like, I'm used to seeing single point of views and you look at and see who the name is and stuff. And when you start it, you think that for a second and you're like, wait. And then you have to keep reading to know, okay, this is your characters are so defined where you don't have to have that POV title because you know by reading whose head you're in, which is great. And then I hear book 2 is a little more like that, but then also you're like, I am not going the original way of formatting, and you're trying to stamp out more things in a different way to make it feel that feeling and that prose going and things like that. So I'm excited.
See, I love that. I love how you're describing it in that if a book can make me cry, then I know that that's an absolute 5-6-star book, you know? And
Yeah.
for
I don't
Heather to
cry
say,
often, if ever. Maybe like I get that stinging feeling.
Yeah.
So like if you can make me cry, then yeah.
I've had a few books that I have cried. I cried at the Played Prisoner. I cried on the one scene at the end in that last book. There was a moment. I cried at The Curse That Binds, because even though I knew what was coming, because if you read Bewitched, Bespelled, you know what the end game is in The Curse That Binds. And, you know, those are those kind of moments when you get a book and you have that that emotional reaction. It's not just words on a piece of
Yeah.
paper.
Yeah.
I
It
mean, you
it
bringing up the
touches
curse
your
that
heart.
binds, yeah. And I remember coming on, I was like, he's like Memnon. He's like Memnon. If you haven't read Laura Thalassa, Memnon
Oh.
is Resh, but Resh is probably, I mean, I know we're still getting to know Resh, but he's probably equal, if not better than Memnon. And he's like one of our top
Oh, he's one of our tops,
book
yes.
boyfriends. Because he is that like warrior god too, and he is brutal and he don't give a shit and he is sassy with what he says and he does not hold back, and I love that. So yeah, it's pretty similar. I like it.
So Ravenna, it
You'll love
sounds
book
like
2
you've
then.
kind of
I know. I'm excited.
Ravenna, it sounds like you've kind of created we're getting so much right now with like in the romantasy genre where people are hitting a checklist with the tropes and all that. You're kind of creating your own unique, beautiful thing in your own world. And are there any books that you would say might have been like an inspiration that helped you create this world that you've created? Or is it all just completely unique?
Say just reading so many fantasy books, the classical fantasies like Dune, Sword of Truth back in the day, Sword of Truth, especially. That was like my big thing. If you'll read it, you'll see there's a character called Kaylin, but she's a confessor and she wears all white in the book, much like Auryn. I would say that just the style of that writing, not so much the characters, but the style of it, where the authors were not shy about exploring some really, really heavy topics, but not in a romanticized way, in a very realistic, gritty, like down to earth way, without being so grimdark, you know, where there was a bunch of blood and gore and all that stuff. No, they're just talking about our real world issues in the fantasy world. And what I've noticed lately is that the trend runs towards very external plot in books. So we have a lot of things that are easily converted to tropes like shadow daddies and all of that stuff. But my book is very much internal plot. So the plot is driven by the characters and everything else is external pressure. And that's why it's really hard to put them in trope boxes because they just don't really fit anywhere.
Yeah. I
Like
like
I
that.
was telling them, it's kind of like meshing of tropes for your book.
Yeah.
Like you could kind of hit like parts of those normal, or not normal, but like the higher end tropes that people like. But you're making your own tropes. I feel like it's so different.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it.
And don't get me wrong, like I like all the popular things, but
Me
it
too.
is so refreshing to have that like really unique and like the epic fantasy with the romance. Like my last epic fantasy, I would say, was probably Throne of Glass. Before that was like Lord of the Rings that I actually read, because so much of what I've been consuming are the more like, I don't know, romance heavy, I guess.
Romantasy,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
You've created all your characters. Now, if you had to take all of them, now we know the one is Jason Momoa. If you had to make
Kylorian.
perfect,
Am I saying it right? Tell me again. Kylorian.
Kylorian.
Okay.
well, we know he's Jason Momoa.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we had to cast a movie, you were doing this, who would you pick for your different characters?
It would be Scarlett Johansson. Don't you think so?
I
I don't know who
agree.
I would cast as Auryn, honestly. It would take a very like unique personality and appearance. But River Tam, the actress that played River Tam in Firefly, maybe.
Okay.
I'll have to look that up.
What is
Trying
her
to think.
look? I'm sorry. I know you showed us the art, but what are her descriptors?
She's got very silver hair. She's almost albino,
Okay.
in a way. She's very small,
Yeah.
very petite.
What is it? Who is Game of Thrones? What's her name? Emilia
Daenerys.
Clarke, but
Yeah.
maybe not her face, but the hair
Her
and all that.
hair,
Yeah.
I get a lot of
her stature
comparisons
was
to that.
small,
Okay.
What was his name?
Drago.
Targaryen. Okay.
right?
Yeah, Khal
Because that was
Drogo. Yeah.
Momoa.
That was
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
So like their character, and then like the way they're described, I immediately thought Andrew East and Sean Johnson. You know how like small and big they are? If you know those people, the
Yeah.
Olympic
The
people.
the
And
gymnast, right? Her and her
yes,
husband. Yeah.
yes. And he's super tall and she's like 4'11" or something like that. Like that, I was like, oh, this is Auryn and Resh here.
Love it.
That and then
That
just put them into Game of Thrones, Daenerys and Khal Drogo, and then boom.
I just from all the descriptions and everything that you all have said, I think this would be an absolute amazing if it was ever adapted into live action in a TV show.
Yeah.
You know, like a series, you know, like how Hulu and or Netflix and them do.
It'd be
And
like Wheel of Time.
see, I
Yeah.
would love.
That was cool.
it's interesting. I actually hear that feedback quite a lot.
I could see this. When I was telling Rebecca, she's the video game person, and I was like, this is like a video game. Like I could totally see this being a new world video game one day.
Yeah.
So,
Now, in your head, Ravenna, do any of them have accents, or what are their? Can you describe what you hear in your head?
You're smiling because she's heard Kylorian and Auryn speaking before.
yes, on the Patreon. Okay, so Resh
Yeah,
is
so
like
I was
gravelly.
foolishly perhaps trying to make my own audiobook and narrating and messing with Audacity and some of the voice changing stuff that they have. And I made a Kylorian voice and an Auryn voice. So yeah, I imagine they would have British accents.
Okay. Good to
All
know.
of them, even Thessia. I always
Probably
hear it
not
wrong.
Zarek and Thessia. They would be more. Maybe Thessia would have like a Slavic Netherland kind of.
Yeah, I could see
Okay.
that. Knowing her background and her
Yeah.
power.
I like hearing or knowing like what you hear in your
Yes,
mind, because then that helps us when we're reading it. I think every author should do this. So, but you tell me if I'm wrong. But whenever a book comes out and you have all different names and stuff, I think you should have on your Instagram, you should have and go through your characters and pronounce their names so that we're pronouncing them correctly in
Yeah.
our
Okay,
mind.
but
Just hold
I
that up
love
and be
that.
like,
I love those,
Kylorian.
but I also sometimes will read it and I'll be like, Kylorian. You know, like I
It
I
takes
almost
me a
need to
while.
like hear somebody say it,
Yeah.
so I get it.
Because I'm a one of those kind of people. Because you've said your name to me the other day when we were talking, and it did not register in my brain. But I have to hear it, and I have to hear it several times, or otherwise, you know how we are. We don't pronounce anything correctly.
I do love the pronunciation guide. If that's what we've got, that's awesome because that's at least better than nothing and struggling through.
I agree 100% on that, because you do get the different books in that, and there is no guide, and we're just making our own pronunciations up. The one that shook me, now this one here shook me because the whole time, now again, I have not read Throne of Glass, but I always knew the one character, I knew her as Manon, because that's how I've heard so many people pronounce her. And then I heard Sarah say it, and it's Manon. And I was like, well, that was completely wrong all this time.
Yeah.
But in my mind, it was still Manon. So this is why I love that. I love being able to have a pronunciation guide. That is fantastic. And I thank you for that, because otherwise, you know how we are.
Yeah, of
And you
course,
have a
there's a glossary too at the end.
Yeah.
I love that.
Like a
So,
good glossary.
and are those for like magical systems or in creatures, or what is that for?
Mhm.
It's like for the main topics that you encounter, but I try to keep it spoiler free. So the definitions are what you know up to reading the book right now.
Okay.
But sometimes readers, if they're reading different concepts, they forget. They want to quickly look it up. Oh, what was that I heard this word before? But I am building it in such a way that you don't really need to memorize anything. It's very atmospheric, so you kind of discover it as you go.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's great because, like, you have the context clues with it. There have been books that I read where there's no context clues, It's not in the glossary. And I'm like, I have a headache because I'm trying to figure out what is this thing that you just threw at me. So thank you for your service, ma'am. I'm very excited.
Yes. See, that's wonderful. So now we know. That's even a bigger reason to read your book too, is to have that thought. I don't know. I've been drinking, so my mind has drifted a little bit. I can feel it because I haven't ate. So my little Jamaican happy. Who would think today? It makes my mind like go, whoo. Because I can feel I'm flushed in my
I
face.
think I am too. I never really drink, so this one beer is just kicking my butt right
I
now.
have a little spot. I
That's
usually
why I
get
wore
like
my shirt
the-
up here because I'm probably
yeah.
red all the way down.
I'm not a big drinker either. The only time I ever drink is when we record the podcast, and we don't always drink all the time on the podcast either,
I'm a
depending.
toddler too.
Sometimes we wear our drinks, Heather.
Yeah. Every day. You know what though? We were recording the other day and I looked at myself on the screen. I was like, God damn, I had like a booger from like a child. And I was just like, it's too late to change. Start scratching at it. Oh wow.
Motherhood.
Oh, motherhood. I've
Yeah, I
washed the
took a
same
shower
sweater
before this
like so many
recording, so
times. Yeah. Like I always get like one spot of something. I mean, I've had hot coffee and there's a kid that just like comes up and like bombs you, like sits right next to you and you're just
yeah,
I'm used to
I don't
drinks
even
falling out
remember
me.
what hot coffee is like anymore. I always forget
That
about it, and then it's cold
hurt.
coffee.
I know. Yes. And of course, like I had just sat down right with it. So I was like, never mind. Never mind.
See, my kids are getting a little bit bigger now because my youngest is 10 and my oldest is 15. So they give me other problems. But I remember this was years ago, but it was my youngest, and we were in an apartment at the time, and we had like they would do inspection in the apartment or whatever, and they were coming in, and I was dressed nice because I wanted to look nice because people were coming into my house. And my daughter, she just kept looking at me, and I'm like, "What's wrong?" And I could tell she didn't feel good. And thank God they had came in. They did their little quick inspection. They were only there like a couple minutes and they left. And I picked her up and I was holding her because she was probably like 5'6". And then she threw up all over the front of me. And it was like curdled milk. You know, because she had drank milk and it was stuck all over me and looked like cottage cheese. And I remember I took a picture and I sent it to my husband. I said, "Look at my day."
You have to document these things.
You have a little girl, but is she feral or is she a polite little
No,
thing that sits there with her teacups?
I mean, she can be because she's very headstrong, but she loves to watch me draw with my magic crayon. She knows all my characters. Just the other day I was drawing, she busted in here. She just learned how to turn doorknobs, you know? So she busts in here while I'm drawing this obviously shirtless picture of Kylorian, and she's like, "Mommy, it's Kylorian." And she goes, "Daddy's not like that." I was like,
Oh my God.
how do I even defend that?
No, I have to ask now because you have red hair. Does she have red hair too?
She's got more of like I think her hair's getting darker, so she's probably going to have more of like my husband's darker hair because he's part Japanese.
Oh, okay. My daughter, she's because my husband's a redhead. My two boys are strawberry blondes, and then my daughter's a redhead. She's not quite red, quite like yours. She's a little darker of a red, but she is red, and her personality goes perfectly with red
Yeah.
hair. Absolutely. I love that. How old is your little girl?
She's 3.
Oh, she's 3.
Aw.
Oh, you have an itty bitty. You have itty bitties like Heather.
Yeah.
Itty bitties.
Yeah. We have a group chat for the street team and we do a lot of toddler talking on there. A lot of cheersing, like, hey, it's Friday. We made it.
It's really hard when you have really little kids and you become a title at that point in your life. Your mom, your wife, you're the doctor when they feel sick and everything. And I
Yeah.
think
All the hats.
as women, we tend to lose ourselves in all those titles and we forget who we are. And at least for me, that's how I felt. Because, sometimes when my kids were very little and stuff, it would be so overwhelming because I had 3 under 5 and they all are, wanting to do their own thing and all that. It would get so overwhelming.
Yeah.
I would hide in my closet in my bedroom and I would cry because it was so overwhelming
Yeah,
as
you
at
need
that point
breaks.
in time. And it's not that my husband wasn't helping me or anything like that. It was nothing with that. It was just me. And I was
Yeah.
so overwhelmed with that. But now that they're getting bigger and stuff, it is easier, but it's a different kind of hard with them. It's this part of them, the mouth and stuff. But it does get better as they do get older.
Yeah.
And that is what gave me the opportunity, and I had time for myself again. And that's where I started on this whole book journey. And that's how I got to meet all you girls.
I
And
know.
I'm
Chelsea
so
has some
thankful
older
for it.
boys, and after, she's starting to do audio book narration now. You're doing like crafts, you're going places to like Romantasy Con. I'm like, gosh, a few more years. My
I know,
boys will be
right? That's
that
what
age.
I'm looking
Yeah.
forward
Get
to.
out of here.
Yeah. See, I was in the trenches for a good like 10 years. It has been,
Yeah.
my boys are 9 and 7 now. And so there was a lot of time where I was doing nothing for myself and it was all just mom and wife. And now they're a little bit older. And my husband, he's like, he loves that I read because I'm in the mood more. So he's like, sure, honey, let's go to Romantasy Con for the weekend. Sure, buy your little, I got my little corset dress and he's all about it. So this has been like a reawakening for me. I feel like I'm like coming back into my own.
Because I agree with you on that one. That is what the feeling is. I feel like I am finding and feeling myself, my true self, not the self that I presented myself to my family, to my kids, being mom and all that. What I am, this is me. It's no longer I have to pretend to be somebody else, because
I
how
am myself.
you know what I mean.
I am myself.
I am myself.
Love it.
I love it.
That's definitely going to be a sticker. You know it is.
Yep.
And I agree with you, Chelsea, on the sticker thing. I have stickers. I used to collect stickers and I would put them in a box and I never put them on anything because I felt bad putting them on something that I was using, even though it was something
What if it
that
gets
I would
ruined?
love. I know that was always my panic and what I worry about. So
my I
understand.
am myself sticker, it's never going to get used, but I will buy it.
Yes.
I love it. Now, let's see here. Now, I'm going to ask you, Ravenna, I'm going to ask you a couple quick things. Now, so it's either scream or dream, okay?
Does she actually have to scream?
It's rapid fire.
Ravenna, you have to scream.
Wait, what?
No, you don't.
We're going to do like a little rapid fire. I'm going to read a couple little scenarios to you, and you can say, is it a scream or is it a dream? Now, only one horse, bed, or tent trope. Is that a dream or a scream?
Scream like a bad scream or scream like a good scream?
Or like super excited.
Scream is bad. Got it. So that
I always
is the
ask
dream.
these things too.
Dream.
Dream, for sure.
All right. Now, if an FMC who has never touched a sword suddenly is beating a master assassin in chapter 2, is that a scream or is that a dream?
That's a scream.
Yeah.
Okay. And then now, how about this one? A why choose romance where the forced proximity is executed perfectly. Is that a scream or a dream?
Dream.
I agree with you.
A good white choose. And we've actually asked Ravenna on the street team if we are going to get a little side action for Auryn. I know we love our Resh, but I mean, you never know. We'll see. Is this a clue? I love my clues. Yeah. Just saying. I have theories.
I was before I never like read a whole lot of things that were why choose. And then once I got into the why choose, I have to tell you, I do enjoy it thoroughly. But then again, I like my stuff.
Well, like, I don't know if this is a spoiler for Legacies with Melissa Rorick, but she does a good one with her characters and her legacies. Yeah.
She hasn't read the Legacy series yet.
Okay, perfect. That's why I was like leading. I was like, if anyone hasn't seen this, okay. But yeah,
no,
she
that's
executes her characters very well.
absolutely. So Ravenna, before we let you go, we know book 2 now of the 9 Rivers Odysseys coming this fall. Or no, actually not this fall, this
Book
summer.
1, you mean?
Book 1,
are
and
you
then she
talking
said
about?
book 2's coming in July.
Yes, that's true.
So are you currently neck deep into book 3? Have you started book 3? Or
Yes.
exciting?
I'm thinking maybe January for book 3, if I can swing it.
I like that. I like this. I like your schedule that you're doing because that's amazing because then we don't have to wait.
I hate waiting.
I know.
I hate
I know.
waiting for books.
Yeah.
Just don't burn yourself out and make sure you take breaks.
Please take care of yourself, but please hurry up. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm like so jealous that we didn't get the arc and that Heather's read it because now after talking about it, I'm like, oh, I
Good.
need it right now. I need it today.
I mean,
You'll
it's
get
just
it.
2 weeks from now, I think so. And you get an ebook with your special edition.
Yay! Awesome. Thank you.
Very nice.
Ravenna, thank you so much for joining the Inner Circle today. This conversation was everything. Breath of Starlight is out this Saturday, April 4th. And if you haven't pre-ordered it yet, what are you even doing with your life? Because I just did. And there's only going to be like
During the
maybe 19
podcast.
copies, maybe less by this time.
Yeah.
So get on it.
So go support this incredible mission for representation. Book babes, head to the link in our bio to grab your copy and make sure you're following at 2girls1tbr on Instagram. You can also find Ravenna at ravenna.vale, right?
RavennaVale.
Thank you. Well, that's your website. What is your handle?
The dot
The
Ravenna
Ravenna
Vale.
Vale. Yeah. So she is on Instagram, and go look at her art. Please do. And then we have drink recipes for an immersive read and watch of our podcasts, and that's on our 2girls1tbr IG as well.
We'll see you in the next chapter.
All right. Good night.
Good night, book babes.